Welcome to Happy Hour Conversations with Tamekia. We are everything her, helping to elevate, redefine our sister friends tribe, and bringing women's stories and voices to the mic. I am your girl, Tamekia. Be sure to stay connected with me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Happy Hour Conversations with Tamekia. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button, so you can be notified when we post our videos. It is good to be back on the mic. I had a little break. I am refreshed. I had to hit the reset button. And I know we are at the end of January, but I'm going to say Happy New Year anyway. So, Happy New Year. Happy 2025. Before we jump into today's episode, which we are going to talk about setting the tone for 2025, I want to dive into this week's affirmation. So grab pen and paper. Make sure you share this with your sister friends. Post it because this is this week's affirmation, but you can put it into your affirmation bank and you can use it for February. Okay? Let's get it. This week's affirmation is I am an extraordinary woman. There's absolutely nothing regular about me. I have embraced being my authentic self and I love it. Yep, that is this week's affirmation. So be sure to write it down and share it with your sister friends, your circle, and repurpose it and use it for the month of February. All right, so as I said, we are going to discuss setting the tone for 2025. For January, we have 4 installments on setting the tone for 2025. And so we're going to talk about each one of those. We posted with our notes to her. And our notes to her are messages designed for women, for our sister friends, for our sister friend tribe. They're posted every Monday. Messages, they're tips for women to start their week off, to get grounded, to make you think. And you can also use our notes to her as a conversation piece with your sister circle and your friends. Okay, so with that being said, make sure you follow us again: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, so you can get notified when we post our notes to her messages on Monday. Okay, but the first installment, we talked about, or we posted, tips that will help you grow. Remember, we are talking about setting the tone for 2025. So the first installment was tips to help you grow. And so we have posted 3 questions, and I'm going to share, 3 tips. I'm going to share the 3 tips, and then I'm going to elaborate a little bit. And then we're going to go on to the next installment. So the first tip was take time to reevaluate your life. The second one was remove all things that no longer serve you in this season. The third one, align yourself with like-minded people. So let's roll it back to number 1. Take time to reevaluate your life. Yep. Take time to reevaluate your life. You're asking me the how, the what, how you do it. I got you. I want you to take some time, maybe about a week. If you need a little longer than that, that's fine. Take about a week, dedicate some time, a couple hours a day. And I want you to ask yourself these questions. Now, when you ask yourself these questions, you have to be honest with yourself. Question number 1, I want you to ask yourself, am I happy? Am I happy includes, am I happy with my life, current situation, my career, the people that are in my life? Am I happy with myself? Am I happy with myself spiritually, physically, financially? Want you to ask yourself that question and be honest with yourself when you answer. Don't rush the answer. Take time. Think about it. Just make sure that you answer honestly. Your happiness, it matters, but you have to know that it matters. You are in control of your happiness and the journey that it takes to get there. You have to know that it's important, that it matters. So I'm going to ask you, what are you willing to do to make the changes and to grow to be in control of your happiness? I personally think when it comes to the re-evaluating your life, I think it is essential to reevaluate your life often. Life happens, we get older, things change, and you just always want to make sure that you are aligned with purpose and what God has for you, right? And so in order to do that, it's always good to go back, reevaluate, revisit, and make the changes that align with what it is that you want to do and how you want to feel and what makes you happy. That's the important part. Number two, remove all things that do not serve you well. And when I say all things, I'm talking about people too. Remove all things and people do not serve you well in this season. Take time, be honest. And it's not the easiest thing to do, but I will say it is needed in order to grow and elevate. And when you are thinking about this question, I want you to think about the people that are causing you emotional distress, people that are draining your energy, people that don't appreciate you, people that are taking advantage of your kind spirit just because you are nice and that you're kind. But they're not giving anything back. They're just taking. People with weird behaviors towards you. I for me, I know I have experienced as I have gotten older, people that were in my life that as we just got older, their behaviors just got weird with no explanation. Um, and so I want to suggest to you that if that's happening, don't take time to investigate and pour all of this time into trying to figure out what's happening. Just let the natural thing happen and let them remove themselves out of your life, okay? The next thing I want you to think about is routines and those obligated things that no longer bring you joy, but you're doing it because you've been doing it for years. Yes, those things I want you to think about. The routine and those obligated things that no longer bring you any joy, but you just find yourself doing it because I've been doing it for years. Sis, I want you to think about it and remove it from your life. Um, I had to learn this. I want you to learn it too. Removing yourself from situations that do not concern you and it is none of your business. Remove yourself from situations, again, that do not concern you and that is none of your business. Bad habits. Bad habits obviously was never serving you well, but I want you to take time and start identifying what you consider to be your bad habits, right? Identify what those habits are so you can slowly start making changes to those habits. And then, lastly, there are times where you may not necessarily be able to remove people from your life, but you can definitely put them in the appropriate box and category that they belong in. Okay. Once you start understanding the relationship, because sometimes we lump certain relationships all together. Once you understand and identify exactly what the relationship is, then you can put people in their category, in their box, and move accordingly. Okay. Tip number three was align yourself with like-minded people. That's self-explanatory. Align yourself with like-minded people. I can tell you for me, if we're not talking about empowerment topics, trying to find solutions to problems, helping our young people grow, learn a new skill, there's not much that we can really talk about. So you're probably not in my core circle. So again, align yourself with like-minded people. Now, all of that went into installment number 1, tips that help you grow. Let's get to Installment number two. Installment number two was ask yourself questions that you need to ask yourself. This is fun. Ready? Here we go. Question number one, what do I need to prioritize my life? Question number two, what do I need from others that are in my life? Question number three, how do I put a strategy together and execute? Let's quickly go back to number one real quick, because I really want you to be honest with yourself in this area and what you need to prioritize your life. Now, I'll do a quick share. I can share with you what I needed, but I want you to be honest in this area so you will know what you need to help prioritize. But let me do my quick share. In this area, I know I needed discipline, and I still need discipline. So this part is still a work in progress for me, but discipline was my number one. I needed discipline in several areas, and to share a few, it was areas such as health, areas in my financial life, my spiritual life. So I needed discipline in making better choices when it comes to my health, right? Whether it be exercising, whether it was food choices. I want to be a good steward over my money. And spiritually, there is more I can do discipline-wise to continue to feed my spirit. So that is something that I am still working on. The other things that I needed to understand and embrace my roles. And sometimes I think some things can kind of overlap. But when you really sit down and break things down, and my roles, they're my roles as a sister, my role as a friend, caregiver, niece, mentor, entrepreneur, the list goes on. Even my roles that I may not necessarily have wanted, but as a birthright, they are given to me, trusted to me from God, right? And so once I start understanding my roles, it really helped me with clarity and understanding how I needed to move, and then actually remove unnecessary things out the way so I can operate in these roles properly. I don't believe there's any such thing as balance. I mean, if I'm wrong, please let me know. But I don't know if there's a such thing as balance. However, what I have done that helps me prioritize my life is I now move according to how I feel, and I don't move according to pressures of something dictating that I need to do or how I move, right? So if I don't feel like going, if I don't want to do it, guess what? Tamekia just does not do it. So I hope that's helpful for someone as you are thinking about things that you need to help prioritize your life. Number two, what do I need from others? Listen, if you have a group of your core people that you are connected to, you all should be able to reach into each other, plug into each other, and share what you need from one another. And if you cannot do that, then you really need to have a conversation with the core people that's in your circle. But it is okay to reach into the people and say, to your core people, and say, I might need help in this area. I might need some sound advice. I might need a listening ear. Start reaching into your people and figure out what you need from them and what they might need from you. It's okay. We are not meant to do this thing alone. Okay. When I say this thing, I'm talking about this life, this journey. Number three, tip number three was, how do I put a strategy together to execute? Many of us, we have ideas and then it stops there. We just have an idea. And I've been guilty of that. We just have an idea and it just stops there. I want to encourage you to start brainstorming, getting everything out on paper, all of your thoughts, and when you're thinking about it, think about the who, the what, the how, the where, the when, the time, and work from that angle as you are trying to put a strategy together. And figure out also, well, I already said who, but figure out if you need to reach into someone to help you strategize as well. Okay? There's nothing wrong with bouncing ideas off with your core people. Just be careful with who you bouncing ideas off on. Okay? Installment number 3, how to create healthy habits. This is going to be really, really straight to the point. How to create healthy habits. Number 1, focus on consistency. Focus on consistency. Consistency, 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 and repeating the same thing. Okay? Consistency. Let that be the word when you are creating healthy habits. Number 2 of that is always start small. Avoid overwhelming yourself with all of these things that you want to change at one time. That is a recipe for disaster. Start small. Start with one thing, and once you have mastered that and accomplished it, go on to the second one. Or you may want to start with 2. I would not suggest doing anything more than 2 things at a time. Once you have mastered it, then move on to the next. And if you fall off, guess what? It's okay. Get back on and keep that thing rolling. But do not overwhelm yourself with trying to do a whole bunch of changes at the same time. It is a recipe for disaster. The other part to that is give yourself grace when you are creating healthy habits. It is work. It's work, y'all. Give yourself grace when you're creating healthy habits. Okay? It's okay if you fall off. Just get back on and keep it moving. And if you are lucky, maybe you can even find an accountability partner. You know, it might make it easier for you. The 4th installment that we just posted as we end January, becoming the best you. Becoming the best you. Yep. Remember, we are setting the tone for 2025, okay? So I want you to take each one of these installments, if you haven't already, answer the questions and start implementing, okay? But becoming the best you. Number 1, continue to invest in yourself. And if you are not investing in yourself, let's talk. Let's have a chat. But continue to invest in yourself. What does that look like? It can be going back to school. It can be learning a new skill. It can be going to the library, picking up some books to learn from, reading. It can be a numerous of things if you are investing in yourself, because it doesn't always have to have a dollar amount. It's more, what are you learning that's new? It can be, I want to learn a new language. What are you doing to invest in you to be your best self? Number 2 of this is say yes to opportunities that present themselves. I know. Trust me, I know. Fear is always there and present itself when those opportunities come. And so you want to run from it. You want to be like, no thanks, I am good, because we typically are more comfortable with what we are familiar with. I want to push you and continue to push myself into the zone that's not comfortable, right? And say yes, because fear truly is faith that has not that's not being worked, that you're not saying yes to. That's all it really is. That's all it is. And once you say yes to it, then you move into that faith realm. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna have faith that it's gonna work out. So turn your fear into faith and start saying yes to opportunities that present themselves. You will never know what doors open, and you'll never know what opportunities or doors that you open up for somebody else by simply saying yes. Number 3, insert yourself in rooms and with people that are challenging you. Your core people that are your friends, your groups that you are in, we all should be challenging each other to be better, to do something great, right? We should be challenging each other, especially when we have ideas that we present to one another. We should be challenging each other. Yes, challenging each other and putting yourself in rooms that people don't necessarily, or you may not necessarily think that you belong in. Sis, you belong there. You belong there. So that was the 4th installment of our January becoming and setting the tone for 2025. So I'm gonna go over all 4 of them really quick again. The first one was tips to help you grow. Make sure you recap because we went over a few tips. Number 2, the second installment was questions to ask yourself. Number 3, how to create healthy habits. Number 4, becoming the best you. That is how we are going to set the tone for 2025. So typically, right before I close, I typically ask our guests our closing question. And because I'm solo dolo today, I'm going to ask the closing question to you all. And that question is, what do you love about yourself? I want you to think about it. What do you love about yourself? We typically have a hard time talking about ourselves, but we can say any and everything about our family, our kids, our husbands, our spouses. This one is for you, sis. What do you love about yourself? I am your girl, Tamekia. Remember to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Happy Hour Conversations with Tamekia. And we will talk soon.